cameras on. Thank you. We're live. I'm going to ask Joanne to take roll call, please.
Okay. All right. Peter Amato.
Present.
Peter's here.
Here.
Diane Andelman.
Here.
Kate Benoit.
Here.
Michael Bunk.
Here.
Marilyn Curtis.
Here.
Maureen DeVrier. I don't see her. Ruth Dries.
Here.
David Fornes. George Franklin.
Here.
Dan Gladstone.
Here. Here.
Richard Handelsman.
Here.
Laura Henley. Jackie Carlin.
Here.
Welcome back. Kelly Jensen.
Here.
Bobby Levin.
Here.
Joyce Reese.
Here.
Flora Simpson. Jeffrey Skeen. I don't see. Jerry Satovsky.
Here.
Gloria Tart.
She overslept.
Mary Walsh. Let's see. Okay, so officers. David Israel's not here. Ed Grossman, I don't see. Dominic Granaglia.
Here.
Stuart Richland. Fausto Fabro.
Here.
Patricia Caputo.
Here.
David Boaz.
Here.
I'm here. And Fifteen members are here, plus the officers, so we do have a quorum.
Thank you, Joanne. All right. I know everybody's read the minutes, so are there any corrections to the minutes?
Motion to accept.
There's a motion, second. Anybody? George, any corrections? Okay. Minutes are approved from the last meeting.
Thank you.
All I can tell you, for David is still out. I'm still I'm in contact with David on a regular basis. Most of you know that Donald is out. He will be out for some time. He may be able to do some work from home, but I don't know if he's going to be able to attend any meetings in person for a little while. The village continues to go on. We just signed a new waterway agreement that's up once a year since we own the waterways. We signed that yesterday. There was a project by Kent Street and the North Canal. Some of you know that a big drainage pipe rusted away, collapsed. Part of the street collapsed. There was, I believe it's $52,000 project. They have to shut the 200 feet of pipe, drain it out, and then they're going to re-sleeve it. Contract has been signed, deposits have been given, and that will be starting shortly. Other than that, the office continues to function at 99.9% thanks to your vice presidents and Joanne and David and Ruthie, who's always make sure that the paper gets out.
Can I ask you while it's in?
Sure.
Do you know if the papers were delivered this morning?
I have not received anything that the papers have been delivered.
Usually I hear from Donald.
Yeah, I've been checking.
If they're here, you'll get them tomorrow and Sunday. But
Right.
we'll know if he comes in this afternoon to the office with our batch.
The UCO, the month of November's UCO periodical will be delivered this weekend. All right, we're going to start with Patricia. Ladies first.
Oh, that leaves me out. Good morning, how's everyone? Glad to see you here. I'm going to be redundant, but when it comes to the transportation, I'm not the owner of the bus. I can't put an extra stop for 1 or 2 people. I can do something if a large group of people bring me those complaints on papers. I continue to ask people to write their complaint and leave it here, or you go and I'll take care of it immediately. And I continue to get calls every day with complaints. I cannot and will not take complaints over the phone because it's not helpful. As you all know, or most of you know, being a legal secretary and office manager, everything should be put in writing for your sake and for the people who are supposed to take care of the issue. So please, please, if you have a complaint, I don't care if you write me every day, every week, send it to me, I will take care of it. As far as the buses, I am getting some good feedback, which I haven't had in a year. They said that Omar was calling some people, I don't know why not all the people, and addressing their issues, and they seem to be taken care of. They did put up those 3 seats in the front where everybody was tripping, the 3 handicapped seats. They didn't leave no seats. They have still a number of seats for handicap. Just that in the front, there wasn't enough space. They have a motor or something in the front, and it's too hard to pass when there are people sitting there or shopping carts. If you have any complaints about the buses, I know some of them go too fast. I told them that in writing. Some people told me they were passed up at a stop. I don't know if they got there too late or they really passed them up, but I told them in writing. So don't hesitate. Just let me know. I'm not a mind reader and I will take care of it. And anyone also can come and speak to me, whether I am your quadrant vice president or not, if you have another issue. I wish you a beautiful day and a happy Halloween.
Thank you. Stuart, you're up.
Just a few observations. I don't know if anybody could do anything about it since Donald is not available. But I've noticed that there was a considerable inconsistency with the pickup of garbage by the company that does it. They're supposed to pick ours up on Tuesday. They sometimes do it Monday. They do it Thursday. And I looked around in other areas and I see that the garbage has been there for 2 weeks without it being picked up. And more people are moving in or purchased units, and those, the garbage, furniture and things like that have been thrown out at any time that they want to, especially over the weekend when no one is looking, and it lays there for a whole week. Normally I would contact Donald, but I'll wait a week before I call him to make sure that he's physically able to handle that. Another thing that, again, we can't do anything about, if you look all throughout the county, every area that's vacant is being built on. The land is being leveled and either putting up concrete buildings for business or for apartments that people need. And based on the meeting we had with WPRF, the number of units sold last month was the lowest in over a year, and that's because of the fact that there's less and less units available. But all of this equates into a horrific traffic problem that's on the horizon for us going out the village, a danger of left and right. I know Jerry Satofsky had mentioned it the other day when he was in the office. People not obeying the rules and regulations, and to add the problem that we're going to have is when they build a construction down on a golf course. I'm willing to bet they're going to go across the W line instead of going the way they're supposed to. And the way the traffic is 50, 60, 70 miles an hour on Haverhill, we're going to see a lot of ambulances out there. And that's about it. Nothing. Oh, one other thing. I don't know about the intellectual abilities of the people coming into the office to ask for service, but what it seems to us here, we've virtually got to pull the questions out of their mouth they just can't seem to articulate, I need a barcode. It's the most amazing thing. We sit there and we don't know what school they went to. Maybe they went to Florida schools, I don't know. Anyway, it really is a serious problem because it makes a simple problem more complicated. And that's it.
Thank you, Stuart. Dominic, you're up.
Thank you. We keep getting a request from Mr. Grossman, what is he? The treasurer. My glasses have broken around. And each time I have gone out and inspected the roads, the main circumferential road is smooth, and it looks like it hasn't been there for more than 5 years. There are no potholes or anything other than going over with the stripes every 3 years or so. The other place that we find that there might be some distance happenings, the Haverhill Gate has been added last year with the curbing on the left-hand side going out. And there has been water buildup as the land slopes off and the curb rises, and people crossing across the opening in the gate and on the corners, on the ends, are having a difficult time not getting wet every time they use the crosswalk. That's about all I have for me. That's about it. I'll come back afterwards. I'm a little goofy today, as usual. That's it.
Thank you, Dominic. Joanne, you're up.
Good morning, everybody. Just want to remind everyone to keep tuning in to Channel 590, 91, 92. We've got a lot of material coming in. I'm getting more and more from WPRF so I can post when events are going on and what's happening. And when something closes, like the gym, or there's some last minute announcement, I'm able to get things going really quickly. So anything that you need for me to take a look at for possible posting, there's an email address that we have set up, cvtvadmin@unitedcivic.org, and I can get things posted in no time. But I just urge that now that people are starting to come back from season, tell your neighbors that are returning when they want to see what's going on as much as possible in the village, turn on 590. That's where most of the announcements are. So that's it for me.
Yes, Joyce?
She's doing a fabulous job. I started watching it. Possibly, we could enclose in the package for the delegates something about the channels.
I did it a couple months back when I was first getting things off the ground, and yes, absolutely. I just don't want to do it every month because no one will look at it. But like next month, we'll probably put something in, and then here and there. But yes, definitely.
I never
Thank
watched
you.
it until you told me.
David, Mr. Boaz, you're up.
Good morning. First order of business. Welcome back, Jackie Carlin. Nice to see you here again. Please remind everybody that as a delegate, that next Friday is the delegate assembly. And also, if any of the boards have changed, and if they want to get the right voting people in, they have to have the new sheets completed by 12 o'clock Wednesday prior to the delegate assembly. Other than that, that's all that I have, and thank you all for being here.
Okay. Thank you, Dave.
Could I have another bite at the apple? 1 second.
I'll give you the banana. Forget that.
Okay, that's good. Fruit is good. I know that Joanne's not going to toot her own horn, so I would like to blow the whistle for her. The old-time movies that are being played on television is just absolutely terrific. Better than the crap that we see with the gory nonsense that they're offering us on all the stations here in our contract, it stinks. So if you really want to sit back and enjoy and smile and be treated to something that you may have seen 25 or 30 years ago, tune in to the old-time movies. They're really a pleasure. That's it.
Kudos to Joey.
Yes. All right, Ms. Ruth, would you like to say something about the paper?
Yeah.
Well, we said that. Do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, if you can write anything at all, submit it, I'll consider it. If it's worthy of going in, it will go. I'm trying to get as much copy as I can. Paper is good, I think this issue is very good looking. I've got one here, believe it or not. The current issue is very nice, 36 pages, and the front cover, I don't do that. Everybody compliments me on the front cover. That's the work of a graphic artist at the printer. He does a magnificent job, really. And read everything inside. Whatever you want to know is in there. That's about it.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any old business?
All right, you gonna say something, Fausto?
I did. I will say something a little later on.
Pastor?
Old business.
Did we, I know people have asked, and now that I have all that shredding to do, did we look into, I know Bob was doing it. If you want, I'll do it, but,
I have the contact person.
for a shredding company.
Through PBSO. I will contact her on Monday.
Okay. that will-
And I'll try to set something up for either December or January.
January probably would be good when we're emptying our cabinets in the office.
So if you have any records of people that have no longer owners of your building, that paperwork should be shredded. Don't throw them in the garbage. And that's what we're going through right now. All right, new business. Miss Bobby, you're up. Bobby, you're up.
Oh. Just I want to remind everybody that we are having elections. In the reporter this month, our directions for sending in your bio to Ruth. That should be sent in online. And that's it. I have nothing else to say.
Okay. Would you like to say anything about the volunteer luncheon?
No?
No? Okay. No problem. George, you're up.
Those of you who might know, haven't forgotten, I'm on the Sheriff's Advisory Board, and we met 2 weeks ago, and I was asked if anybody gets any threatening or anti-Semitic remarks or any damage to anti-Semitic things, please let me know, and I have people that I will turn it into at the Sheriff's Department. They asked me to put it out there, and I guess nobody's had any complaints in the office, I know that. Anybody have any problems? No? Okay, good.
Pill drop.
Oh, yeah, and this coming Friday, the 3rd November, is the Operation Pill Drop. Please look at the flyers that you received. So there's a list of what you cannot bring and a list of what you can bring. Okay, and they'll be here from 10 to 2. Okay? Any questions? Yes?
Excuse me, on that pill drop, do they have to take the medicine out of the containers? or-
No. If you leave it in the container, you don't have to worry about being found out about who you are, what you are, or whatever, because everything gets burned.
Oh, good. And I got a box of cookies last time.
Okay?
Okay. Michael, you had your hand up, and then, oh, I'm sorry. Did you have your hand up?
Me, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
No, Dan.
Pass that back to them, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Mr. Richard, and he says that the people are complaining about hours are not being convenient to them. I don't know if they want a night shift, whatever they want, but the epidemic being behind us, why don't we go back to 9 to 1 and 12 to 4?
What are you talking about?
The hours of
We weren't talking about-
opening, it says here that...
Are you talking about the minutes?
No,
He's talking about the office
I'm
hours.
asking a question because of this. I don't know what hours they're talking, but you mentioned that people complain that the hours of Yuko are not convenient to them. My question is, if the epidemic is over, why don't we go back to the hours we used to have, 9 to 1 and 12 to 4 on
Dan, I'm
Friday?
gonna answer that question.
Go ahead.
They don't care that we're open Monday to Friday. They want us to be there Saturday and Sunday and open 24 hours at their convenience. And we're doing more work now with 3 hours a day than we were doing before with 4 hours a day.
That's right.
And with 5 or 6 less people.
So why don't we come back to what used to be?
Why should I? We're doing
No,
more
it used to
work
be
now.
because of the epidemic, whatever.
But what, did you hear what I said, Dan?
Volunteers won't work that much.
I am, calm. Dan, did you hear what I said?
Yes.
What we were doing in 4 hours is now being done in 3.
Okay.
And more of it, more work. So there's really no need to keep the office open an extra hour.
Good
And
enough.
the complaint that Stuart was talking about, that we have a larger rental population, plus more people that are working. And they work their hours, so they want the office open at 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock at night, or a Saturday or a Sunday, for their convenience.
Good.
Okay, and I really don't think it's necessary, you know, I mean, we're there. What we explained to them, that of having a barcode is a privilege. You don't want to stand online, you have access to the village with your Century Village ID. That's it.
Good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Yes,
I just want to mention about an upcoming trip also. On January 23rd, we're going to the Byzantine Center of Creative Arts. That's glass blowing and fusing, and it will be in the Yuko Reporter, and the sign-up will be December 14th from 12:30 to 1:30, and Friday, December 15th from 9:30 to 10:30. It's $15, non-refundable, cash, when you're making the reservations. It'll be in the paper.
any other new business? Yes, Mike?
Ruth, can I use the mic? Just a suggestion, a lot of people are asking about when the option sheets for insurance will be delivered or out. Could somebody at the delegates meeting mention that the option sheet should be available like the first week in December, and there'll be a meeting at the clubhouse?
Well, we need the permanent information, Michael. I need something in writing that says what day they will be available and what day they're planning on being here to distribute them. I'm not gonna say if, maybe, possibly. Give it to me in writing so that I'll be more than happy to make that announcement.
Okay, good. Tony will do that, but I just wanted to see if it couldn't be mentioned because.
But I'm not gonna mention it maybe the first week, and then I don't know what day, but eventually they'll be at the clubhouse.
Yes.
I wanna give them correct information,
Okay, thank you.
okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Any other new business? I gave you a short CAMS report. Second bite at the apple, does anybody wanna bring anything to the table? Yes, go ahead, Peter.
A couple of people have called me up and they want to know what is happening with the Hastings pool. You know, I keep asking people in the gym, no one knows what's going on.
Okay, I'm gonna,
That's one of the things,
okay, you want me to answer that?
if you have
Okay.
an answer.
Yes, 2 weeks ago, Dominic, myself, and Donald got a tour of the Hastings Clubhouse. In the installation of the new sauna, it required an additional $6,000 worth of electrical work. The panel had to be replaced to a panel that's twice the size. They had to run it, because it's electric, they had to run independent lines for every spot where they have some radiant heat coming down. each one, after the work is done, they have to wait for the inspector to come in and make sure that it is done correctly to code. And then once that is done, we were informed by WPRF that they don't have anybody on hand that has the ability to put the interior of the sauna together. So they were gonna get an outside contractor to come in and put the puzzle back together. That's as far as the sauna is concerned. You have another question, Peter?
Well, one of the other things that they were mentioning to me, some of the activities that we used to have before COVID, like the bingo and the...
No bingo, I can tell you that right now.
And the Super Bowl party.
That's WPRF function.
How do we get any answers?
You need to talk to Eva if she's gonna have a Super Bowl party. That was that. As far as bingo's concerned, bingo is a UCO function. You need someone from UCO to oversee it. And currently, I don't think there's anybody in here that's got almost 30 years of bingo experience other than myself. And I'm stretched a little thin, and there was no way that I could run it every week. We're considering maybe somewhere along the line doing it once a month. And people aren't happy with that. Well, we want it every week. So, what's that?
I beg to differ with you.
What's that?
People will accept the once a month.
I know, but
in the
some
hopes that
people...
eventually you might do more.
Right. Again, but like I said, right now,
Perhaps you could teach other people.
I'd be more than happy to do that.
Okay,
All right?
I'm more than happy to help.
Thank you, that's it.
All right. Now, the other part that, when we had the meeting with Dan, we walked around the building. Besides going to Hastings, we came to this club, to the main clubhouse. There is an issue with the men's locker room here. Okay? You all right? You want to say something?
I was going to say,
Go ahead.
there's a cave underneath the men's locker room. It's 5 feet deep, and it has been washed away as the water runs out of the tap as you're showering, and it's scooping all that sand, and now you have an unsafe floor area to build upon, so it's going to require more rebar and so forth to fortify the thing under the floor. So that's going to put another couple of weeks work ahead of finishing the job.
The cave?
Yeah, the other part, yeah.
Yes.
Where the men's showers are,
Yeah.
underneath there, they ran copper tubing underneath there to run the hot water for the showers. One of those pipes was leaking and literally washed away the dirt underneath.
Wow.
But the reason why they found this is because way back when the clubhouse was closed, when the hurricane took down a lot of the damage, clubhouse should have been torn down. It was not. It was repaired. They took half the men's bathroom and they ran PVC pipe. They left the other part as black pipe, which is now completely clogged and has disintegrated. So they now have to tear up half of the men's bathroom floor to replace that black pipe, fill in the dirt that's washed away, replace the copper piping that's underground and put it up into the walls. So it's going to be an additional expense, additional time. Plus, my understanding, they're going to call an engineer, right? They have to call an engineer in because it's literally washed away a little cave, like Dominic said, a cave underneath the shower room. There was a video that was sent out. Some of us could open it, some of us couldn't, but it's a pretty scary sight to what it was. Good of the order. Anybody?
No, just...
Yes, go ahead.
Being a guest of the Finance Committee meeting last Wednesday, I'm a little bit confused. There was a lot of arguments, yes bylaws, no bylaws, he didn't sign, yes sign. If maybe this board could be a little bit more clarified what is going on about the budget. It was a fierce argument.
There was no argument.
I mean,
It was very simple procedure. We have, I was going to call for a treasurer's report, but he's not here and we have none. The treasurer part of the treasurer's responsibility is to make sure that a budget be presented to the delegates at delegate assembly in October. Okay? He presented a budget, Mr. Grossman presented a budget to the committee, and the committees recommended that he make some changes that didn't make sense. Commingling of funds between basically what happens, there was two lines where we have Breeze Line and Seacrest that pay rent for the space that they have. And he decided to take whatever money was coming in from rent and deducted it from the amount of money that we're paying them. It shouldn't be on the same line. It's two separate items. One is income and one is expense. The other item was what David suggested, that put $8,000 in there for the entertainment. He left it at $4,000. The other question was that he put 35% in his line for insurance, which he said should be double that. And the people that were there asked him to make the changes, and he would not make those changes. All he had to do, that was on a Wednesday. The officers' meeting was on a Thursday. All he had to do was go to Chris or go to somebody and just change 3 items on there. 3 quick changes, give it to the officers on Thursday. We could have then come here to the executive board for approval and send it next Friday to delegate assembly. Mr. Grossman chose not to do that. Okay? So at that point, we have management companies and buildings that wanted to know what their budget items were going to be. President David Israel signed off on the amended budget that was done by Chris. Chris made those 3 changes, and it was done. He signed it, and we mailed it to the management companies. Now, every officer, every management company was informed that David signed off on the budget. At Wednesday's meeting, I was very shocked to see, we were all shocked to see, that Mr. Grossman never opened up his email to be told that the budget had been approved. And he's talking about bringing it back to November or December's meeting. The bylaws are very specific. October meeting, the budget must be presented.
So it's gonna be here when?
The budget is out.
No, but we approved it.
We haven't approved it. It was done by the president. President David Israel signed off on it, could not go through the procedure. We had to give it to, because the date of October 1st or 5th, whatever the meeting was, could not be met by the treasurer. He took it upon himself, since all the other items were basically okay, to sign off on it.
Okay, no, that's what I wanted to know.
Does that answer your question?
Coming here, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Statements? No? Yes, George?
Got a question on the TV. Usually when I'm watching, anytime after midnight, whatever channel I'm watching, between midnight, say, and 2 o'clock, it freezes up. I don't know if anybody else is having that problem. And then you have to move the channel ahead to the next channel or back, and then that'll set it free. And you lose.
I suggest that you bring me your Breeze Line bill. I will call our inside man and ask him to set up a special appointment to come to your house and check out your information. It's not uncommon for it to freeze.
Okay, that's what I want to know.
If it's a constant thing, we will send somebody over to fix it. But I need your bill, all your information.
I don't get a bill.
All right. Come into my office with the information that I requested, and we'll set you up with a house call.
Should I send you an email? Would that work?
Yeah, you can send me an email. It's
All
fine.
right.
Need your address and your phone number,
You got it.
and what your issue is. Okay?
Can I add one thing?
Sure.
We got a letter from the county. The land behind our building is about 6 acres. They asked us if we wouldn't build workforce housing on the land. And of course, that doesn't fly. So that's just a rumor that the county would like us to build something on their land, and they take the taxes, and we take the shot in the arm. No,
We're not for profit, so we can't do that anymore.
that's it.
That's it?
Okay. I just want to make one, go ahead, Marilyn.
Am I to understand?
Take the mic,
that
Marilyn.
Am I to understand then that the budget is posted somewhere on the blog site?
It
or-
has been given to your management company, and your
Okay.
management company is working on your individual buildings' budgets.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Okay. Going to make one last statement before we adjourn. Last week, some of us attended the HOA and COA seminars, board certification and other things. I know that a lot of people say, well, I took it 3 years ago, and I know everything. I take it twice a year, and every time I go, I learn something new. I know that some of the people are in this room that attended those meetings. My recommendation is anybody that's on the board, especially for people in this room, to go at least once a year to get updated on what the new rules, what the new regulations are, and take it with a grain of salt. Nothing that's given out is absolutely 100% permanent. Currently, last year, they said that 1- and 2-story buildings would not be covered under this 30-year recertification or whatever. But Miami and Dade County, they do it by square footage. If you have more than X, I think it's 2,500 and 3,500 square feet, which would cover any 1- and 2-story buildings, they're already bringing them to this 30-year recertification process. Okay? So, and this is something you need to keep up with, because not everybody remembers everything. Okay, and unless you work on it on a daily basis like we do, and we still forget, because not everybody, but it's important that you go to those. It's free, go, use it as a learning process. If you can go twice a year, it's great. If you can go once a year, it's great. And if you have a new board, make sure that those people go, and don't go just on the computer and say, yeah, I read my bylaws and my documents and I know everything. Because you know what you can do with that piece of paper. Santa Claus. Yes,
Is Mark Friedman giving lectures again in the clubhouse?
I have no idea.
He did last year.
Yeah.
Yes, Dan.
Last Friday at the dance, he was sitting at my table, he mentioned something very interesting. It's like a prophet. You said it's going to be a lot of foreclosures in the buildings.
That's what they're predicting.
Yeah, prediction, but what is going to happen, and also that it's going to go up to $1,000 a month. Could you say?
What they were saying is very simple. The gentleman that gave the course said, years ago, 30, 40 years ago, they said, come and live in Florida for $200. And a lot of people moved down here, and of course, 30 years later, it's now $400 or $500 or $600 or $700. And with some of the buildings not being taken care of properly, and if they need to be updated to all the current codes, that is an important fact that some people may not be able to live here unless they spend $1,000 a month. Now, we have people in the office that come and say, I can't afford to live, but listen, where can you afford to live and have the quality that your life have here for $1,000 a month?
Because UCO has some guidelines that for marriage couple you need like
We have, that's not, no, stop, that's not a UCO guideline. That's a building guideline.
Yeah, maybe they have to change it to something else. Because
That's up to the buildings, that's not up to us.
Yeah, we did a small assessment, there was an outcry over there.
Well, be ready, because it's gonna be more. Between insurance and what you have to do to maintain your buildings, that's it. All right, anybody else?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second, yeah.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Joanne. Kelly?